to describe these people, but that's who they are. I mean, it's all a chain reaction. All you need is one commodity in your life that you can't get away from to start increasing in worth, and it causes a chain reaction for all the other commodities out there. And then it leads to services. Inevitably, how can it not? It's a chain reaction that morphs into all the cost for labor. Of course it does. What do you think? Who's paying for those commodities at the end of the day? If your cost of living is going up, okay, then the worth of your currency is going down. That's how it works. That's why your currency debases, because your cost of living goes up. It's not one thing that the currency doesn't debase all by itself. It's debasing because of the debt. Yeah, because the debt goes up. That's your cost of living. That's taxes. And the cost of living is a tax. It's just because, oh, but your cost of living goes to private entities. Who cares if the cost of living, if the tax goes to private entities or if it goes to government entities? The effect feels the same. It feels burdensome. It feels really bad. It's taxation without representation. There's no protection. The problems just keep getting worse and worse and worse. So all these jobs spring up that revolve around the problems persisting and preferably proliferating. How is that okay? How is that not utter sheer madness? It is. Okay, it's reached legendary, epic proportions in the land. We are at the brink of utter destruction. We're hitting the wall. That's the good news. I thank God that I'm standing here in 2016 rather than 2006, because I know we've been through some dark days and they're going to get better. So everybody keep your head. Don't kill yourself. It's no way out. You're stuck in this eternal tapestry forever. So you get comfortable with it as best you can. You not only have a right to enjoy your stinking little life, you have a responsibility, okay, to other people that are having an even harder time than you. Remember, you never know who you're going to meet that's going to be ready to take their own lives or having such a hard time coping in this corrupt system. Okay, we all need to do that. We all need to walk around with that spirit of truth, and we need to embrace it and cherish that spirit of truth and help others to understand, because they don't. This thing is not easy to unravel. It's like a riddle. And, we've got to just collectively demand justice. I don't know how else it's going to be, but we've got to know, what that means. What does that mean? We've got to demand the mainstream media get out there and confront the issues. Talk about the national debt. Talk about how we're going to get the national debt paid back. Talk about the debasement of the currency, how the cost of living is a tax, and how your currency is debased through the cost of living going up. Through your taxes rising, your money is worth less. So yes, automatically you need more pay, okay, just to stay even Steven, to maintain any semblance of any kind of standard of living in the Western world. You need to do this thing. Otherwise, we're going to be a third world nation here in America. It's going to get worse and worse and worse until we're saying, wow, we're looking on the map and we're seeing where in the world would be better than America. Even if we got to go wet behind the ears immigrants, okay? We got to go move to Australia or New Zealand or, somewhere else, somewhere in the Caribbean, just to escape from the authoritarian, totalitarian, draconian, fascist government that is being created. We got the United Nations. We got all these agencies that just make things worse. That's all they do. I mean, it's lawlessness is rampant. It's rife in the land. And we've got to see that. We've got to see it. We've got to make a point to bring that to other people's attention, not let people escape from it. It's already immutable. You can't ignore it and get away with it. God makes things like that, immutable. So it's like trying to ignore your conscience when you know something's bugging you. You've got to at least admit it and confess it's bugging you. So we've got to address and confront the issues that we face. The dubious war and the reasons behind the dubious war, why they want to stir up a hornet's nest, cause a clash of civilizations. That's what they get from all this stuff. And why are the Muslims hated? The banksters have been dying to pick a fight with these people because they understand usury. They hate usury. They hate interest. They know what it's about. They know it's about subordination and enslaving them. They know that's what it's about. They know that it causes this wealth disparity to grow. How else does it happen? So they hate it. It's like it's in their religious faith that they hate it. So this is why they're getting picked on by these people. They hate them, and now they're causing that problem. So now they're dumping all this money on them. They print. You hear these stories of all these billions of dollars showing up on pallets in these Middle Eastern countries. Where's that money going? Okay, I mean, we have a disaster on our hands, and we've got to confront it. If we don't, we're just going to, just stew in our own juices here, and this miasma, okay, that's been created for us, and it's not going to get better. At least I get things off my chest by making these videos, even if it's only National Security Agency listening to me, or whoever has to monitor speech out there in the government. At least they're getting an earful. I'm getting things off my chest, and I'm fulfilling an obligation I have to humanity. I need to say, look, they don't want the problem solved. Stop telling me they want the problems fixed. They don't. They don't, because I can prove to you it'd be a lot cheaper. We could end all the need for the social welfare agencies. And most of the money going to these agencies going to administrative costs. How much is that? And the other stuff's going to subsidize the problem. It exacerbates the problem by paying guys like Rich Dad, okay, through Section 8 housing welfare. That's your taxes that you think's going to the government, that you're going to blame the fault of the poor because you've been made to think it's their fault when the poor have been created, okay? But no, it's going into Rich Dad's pockets and making him fabulously wealthy. So if you're outraged about that, good. I want you to be outraged. Just make sure you blame the right cause and don't blame the effect, okay? And the same with the debt. I mean, 25% of Americans, the last statistic I heard was 25% of Americans are employed in the financial services industry in some capacity. So that means their job is to put other people in debt. You understand? If the national debt was paid off, if we ended poverty, all 25% of Americans, that's tens of millions of people, would be unemployed. You get the madness? You see it? The social welfare, how many people are employed in the social welfare services, food stamps, Section 8, some other form of welfare, Social Security, whatever it may be, okay, all of them would be unemployed if poverty didn't exist, okay? Dubious war. How many people are employed in the military-industrial complex and all the, the subcontractors out there, okay? How many people is that? So that's 3. How about the crime industrial complex? How many people are employed in the criminal industrial complex as prison guards? Okay? In the court system. How many people out there are employed in that? Do you get the madness that I'm talking about here? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Is it just me? Am I being negative? Am I being an alarmist to point these things out? This has happened incrementally. If you told somebody 50 years ago that this is how America would look, they would have thought you're just exaggerating it. You're being hyperbolic. You're a fear monger. You're an alarmist. You're negative, man. But yet, here we are. Here we are, folks. So anyhow, listen, I got to wrap up this video. I'm long-winded as usual, and I'm going to check my notes real quick and see if I have anything else to talk about here. So remember, everybody, stay clear of this raging river of fraud, corruption, and debauchery and utter madness, okay? Because it's careening to destruction, I guarantee it. And you have an obligation, not just a right, because you want to come to the side of the light, to the side of the truth and right and justice, and then go forth and help others that are deceived, genuinely deceived out there, that think they're being on the side of this current establishment, they're on the side of right. They're not. These people are wicked and evil, and they need to jump ship and realize we need a whole nother establishment, one that God establishes through Jesus Christ. I want to share this picture here of my daughters when they were about, I guess they were about 6 and 7, 8, right there in this picture. They were a little older when I took them on that mistrail, but you see how adorable those little girls are? And now those are fine women in their, one turned 30 on the 24th of this month, the little one, and the older one, she's 31 now. But that's my pride and joy right there. And those are little girls that, I love more than life itself. I would easily gladly give my life in exchange for theirs. But, you know, just to sum it up here, we've got to join forces and tell these people what's what, the people that are ruling over us. And one last word for Trump. He needs to understand the things I'm saying, that if he loses this election, the reason is because of all the sundry multitude, countless business interests out there that know they would lose from any kind of a mass deportation. They might not say that's the reason that they voted against him. They might cite bigotry or racism, but you and I know the truth, and that'll be the reason why, and he needs to address this. And if he doesn't address it, I'm going to think he's trying to be a ringer for Hillary, believe it or not. You know, as good of an actor as he's been, I'm going to think that, because he's too smart. He knows the things I'm saying are true, that there's a whole lot of people that are going to vote their own financial interests in this matter. And this is where he needs to step up to the plate, take the bull by the horns, and admit, you know, that he's been wrong, because, you know, he's not right about this issue. I guarantee it.